Greetings of the day to all the viewers of this video. Welcome back to ptscadexpert and myself, Architect Kumar Kapadia from the city of Surat in Gujarat. And today's exercise is going to be all about creating this interesting form in Revit, which will be entirely done with conceptual mass. Fine, massing inside conceptual mass. And if I just take you to a particular project, then this is Illucit Icedford Centre, right, which is the World Heritage Site. And if I just take you to the construction part of this, then you will just notice that this interesting structure has been built very uniquely, wherein if you just see this, then it is referencing two profiles along a path. It is referencing two different profiles. Fine, a triangle which is mirrored, and the profile is two different profiles at two ends. Fine, this particular triangle is mirrored at this end. So we are going to create this particular thing in Revit today. Fine. So it is going to be a very interesting tutorial, and watch the entire tutorial to the end. And if you think that the video was worth, then kindly enroll for this particular course, Master Diploma in Revit, Complete Live BIM course, with the combo of architecture plus structure plus MP. Okay. So now, without wasting a single second, let's start with the modeling part of this particular interesting structure. I'll just open up a fresh new project, browse and templates and English Imperial, and let me just go to default template. Yes, open and okay. Just take a bit of time. Yes, okay. And herein, I'm just going to go to this massing inside and say that in placements. Fine. And we are just going to create a mass. And therein, I'm just going to select this particular spline. Okay. And with that spline and the work plane to level 1, I am just going to create this spline. Okay. Now, as I showed you the construction part, it is referencing two different profiles along this curved part. Okay. But we need to adjust this curve. So herein, I'll just say that add control points 1 and 2. Okay. And now you can adjust this a bit as per. Yes, and this look needs to be, yeah, okay, fine. Once I just go to 3D, yes, so this is the path, okay, wherein we are going to reference two different profiles. Triangle, which will be mirrored at this end. I guess that I need to adjust this profile a bit. Yeah, fine, that's okay. Because of the three-dimensional view looking distorted, but it's okay, fine. So herein, I'll just say that create and say that point. And first I will say the point, and with that particular thing, point on face, I will just lay up one point over here. Okay, and then I'll say that set work plane, and this should be the work plane. And with that selected, I will just draw a reference rectangle. Fine, and I will just draw this, something like this. Okay, and then now we need to adjust this particular dimension. So I will just say that align. Okay. Fine, and with this selected, I will just move this particular center point over here. Fine, and you see that this is not exactly the triangle. If you just go to this particular view, then if you just see the 3D views of this, then this is not exactly the triangle. Okay, so we need to achieve that particular thing. So I will just select this particular point and just drag this down a bit. Okay, no, sorry. Yes, entirely. Okay, fine. Now you see that as per this particular thing, this particular face is also having some deformation. Okay, so we need to do that as well. Select this and just drag it a bit and a height. Adjust that particular thing in height, and this looks proper. Okay, now with this, I will just select the entire thing and CEO copy and place it somewhere over here. And this essentially, this line should also be a reference line. Okay. Now with this selected, I will just select this particular point and say that pick new host. And with that, I will just place it here on the other end. And as I said that the profile is getting mirrored on the other end. On the other end, the profile is getting mirrored. Fine. So we need to do that particular thing. So I will just select this. But before that, set work plane, and select this particular plane, and then select this particular thing, and then the DM, and with that, copy and check. Just mirror this. Okay. So now we have opposite profiles along the path. Fine. I'll just select this and this and say that create form. Fine. CC, and we have achieved the core part of it. If you want to adjust the profile, the path, or anything, then you can do that while this particular control point. But I think that this is proper, so I'll just press Ctrl Z. Okay, fine. Now what we need to do is that assign 3D elements to this particular form, because this is just a conceptual mask. Okay, so we are first going to select this particular face and manipulate that. Right, and I would just say that divide surface, and I will assign the particular pattern to this, wherein I would say that the V grid should be only one, but the U grid should be 30. Fine, okay, 30, or let's say that 32 or 35. Let it be a round figure, 35. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, now we are going to do the same thing on this particular face. I just press tab until I find this face and say that divide surface. Again, I'll assign that pattern, and I will assign the same numbers to that the U grid should be 35 and V grid should be only 1. Okay. Now I will just select this and say that surface representation and turn on nodes. And select this, and again surface representation and turn on nodes. Okay, and what we are going to do is that we are going to apply an adaptive family to this. Let me just take it to this particular thing. Then you see that if I just hide this particular roof on this railing, then you see that an adaptive point family has been referenced along this. Fine, and that is the same thing which has been done here. Okay, so see, this is the structural members which are going all the way throughout that particular structure. Let me just find another. Yes. So if you just mirror this, if you just zoom in this, and you can see that this is the construction part. Okay, so we are just going to do that. So I will just come here, and what I will do is that I'll just say that file and new and family, formula template English imperial. I will just select just generic model adaptive. This is the template file which you are going to use. And since there are 4 points, 4 adaptive, 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, onto which we are going to assign this element. So I will just say that points 1, 2, 3, 4. Select that and make that adaptive. Okay. Now I'll say that 1 to 2 and is a spline through point and is a reference line. 4 to 3 and is a spline through points and is a reference line, and 3 to 4 and spline through point and is a reference line. But I'll not connect this 1 to 4. Okay. Now along this particular path, what I'll do is that I'll host a point over here, somewhere over here, not important where, and I will say that set work plane, and this should be the work plane, and I will just design a reference rectangle onto that. Fine. And then I will say that align, select this point. Okay. And this particular thing needs to be something like, let's say 9 inches. We can change it later once loaded. Not 9 inches. This should be 15 inches. 15 inch. Yes. And this should be, let's say that 9 inch. So 9 cross 16. And I'll just select this and I'll select the entire part and say that create form. Okay. But I guess that this particular thing should be reduced to 7 inches. That would make it look much better. And I will load this family 1 into the project. And since there is an adaptive family, you have an ability to post it to points. So I will just select this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fine. Here. But you still see that this particular thickness, if you want, you can adjust, but I am okay with it. Okay. Now, before repeating it across all this particular grids, I need to manipulate this particular grid, creating one more face. Fine. So one face we have already assigned and converted this into grid. So what I will do is that I will just select this and press H. So now this particular surface is hollow. And likewise, I will just select this H. Okay, both the surfaces are hollow, but we want to create one more surface since we want to assign a piece of glass to that. Okay, so what I will do, let me press this H. Select this particular reference line, press tab a couple of times until you find this reference line. Hold Control key, Shift, and press this. Select this reference line, select this part, okay, and say that create form. So that way you have created another form onto that particular generic surface. Fine. So just like that, select this, select, press tab and select this and select this part and again say that create form. Fine. So now I'm just going to select that form and say that divide surface, and I'm going to assign the same digits to that. So I will just say that 35, but the vertical divisions, I will say that 4 of them. Fine. And let me just press HR. And you see that by pressing HR, it coincides. It matches the original grid, fine, onto which we have assigned this adaptive component. So I'll just press Ctrl Z. I will again select this surface and say that divide surface, and the vertical grid should be 4 of them and the U grid should be 35, same digits. Okay. And herein onto this we are going to apply pattern based family. Fine. So let me just drop down family section and generic models. Where are the generic models? Yeah, fine. And this family 1, I'll just rename it, calling it adaptive family, adaptive structural element. Copy this and rename and paste this again. You can also apply the material, but right now we are just focusing on the modeling part. Okay. Now I'll just go to file and say that new and this time family, but instead of adaptive, I'll just go to family template English Imperial. And you can select anything, curtain panel pattern based or generic model pattern based, both are one and the same. I'll just select this particular curtain panel pattern based, open. Right? And this are the reference line associated with this 4 adaptive points. But here, what difference is that it is stuck to this particular pattern, this particular grid. Fine. If you just try to move it, it won't move. It would move horizontal, vertically, but it won't move horizontally. Fine. So herein, I will just select poster point, just like we did that. Okay. And just say that set plane, set work plane, and this is the work plane. And herein, I will again select this reference rectangle and draw a rectangle, random, not important. I will just align this to this, this to this, this to this. Sorry. Line, point, and this. Okay. Now I will just select this dimension and change it to a real small value, saying 1.5 inch cross 1 inch. Okay. Now I'm just going to select this entire 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Say that create form. Fine. And with that solid form, I'll just give it a thickness of 0.5. That is 12 mm, typical glass thickness, and assign it a material of glass. Okay. Again, I will select that particular same 4 points. And with that selected, I'll again select this. Okay. And just say that create form again. Okay. So now CC. So this is nothing but panel of glass, right? Which you are going to assign to that. So I will just load that into the project. And since it is a pattern based family, so you cannot assign it, but you can just host it. When you select this pattern, and if you just go to the rectangle pattern, then you have the family 2. Okay. So I will just drop down until I could find that curtain panel and so family 2 and rename this, calling it glass panel pattern base. pattern base. Sorry. Control C and Control V. The reason of renaming this particular file is that your project browser might have lots and lots of families. So if you want to edit any part of this, then it's very difficult to find if you not have renamed those families. So that's why I always keep a habit of renaming this particular family once you load it into the project environment. Now if I go to type properties, you see that you don't have any parameter that you can adapt. But since it is a pattern based family, so you can just post it to this particular thing. Okay. So I will just press H R. I will select this particular element. Okay. And say that repeat. And repeat it across this entire form. Okay. Again, I will select now this particular grid here and this grid. Hold Control key and select both the grids and drop down and say that glass panel pattern base. And this will take a bit of time to regenerate, but just stay tuned and it will accept that and post that panels onto that. Fine. Clear, everybody? And if I just escape out, then you see that we have created this particular interesting form. Fine. Now, if you want, you can just select this particular form, HI, that is temporarily isolate, and select this and just adjust this particular points. Fine. But I don't see a need of adjusting and it's proper. But if you want this particular point to go down, then you have to go to its construction part and select this particular SAHH. Select this particular point and lower it up. Okay. But right now, let's just continue with this. Okay, fine. Now we need to create the roof, railing, and the curtain panel on this particular face. Fine. So what I'll do is that I will just select this particular form in HI. Yeah. And I will just finish this particular mass. That is visible. Okay, that's okay. I will just go to architecture and you see that you have this particular curtain system. But before that, instead of applying a fixed curtain system, let's go with some grid division. Okay. So what I will do is that I'll just go to architecture and grid. And herein, why is that not allowing to host a grid onto this? Architecture, grid. Let's see that is this working curtain system, and yeah, fine, okay. So they're not allowing to create custom grids onto that, but you can create a system and then while going to that edit type, I'll just duplicate it and rename this and call the fixed distance something like 4 feet cross 4 feet and apply and okay. Oh, but that's too huge. So again, go to edit type and just say that this 2 feet cross 2 feet 6 inches. Apply and okay. Or why is it fine? Okay. So now with this, once this created, you can have some customization within this. Add remove segment and just get rid of this. Add remove segment and get rid of this as well. And herein, you can reference the curtain wall glass also. Fine, curtain panel glass and how to load that. Just go to this particular insert, load family, and English Imperial US libraries. Yeah, okay, libraries, English Imperial US, and if you just go to doors, then you have this particular 3 doors which can host to a curtain panel. Okay, so since we have created this curtain system, so I will just load this particular thing. And while going to its tab, press tab until you select the system panel glaze and reference that door. Okay. And if you want to see the handles, then just change this to fine. You'll be able to see the handles as well. Fine. So just like that, we need to create that particular system here as well. So now it will be easy. I will just say that curtain system, and with the we have already manipulated this. Just select this and say that create system. Okay. And with that, add remove segments 1 and 2 and select this and add remove segments and press tab until you select this one panel and select this door and host that door to that. Fine. You can play around with this particular grids and create something like, fine, the bigger values you can enter and create something like this as per your design. Okay. Now what next is that we need to create the railing part and the roof onto this particular structure. Fine. So I will just select this particular form and HI. Yes. No, what? Okay, fine. Okay. So architecture, and under this roof, you have this roof by face, which you can host to a face of a mass. Fine. A manipulated mass. So I will just select this particular face, and say that create roof. Okay. And with that created, I will just select that roof and pick the face location, faces at the top of the roof. I'll just change this to bottom. Okay. And with that, you have created that particular roof. Okay, onto that particular undulated form. Fine. And I just say that I want this thickness to be something like 8 inches. Okay, apply and okay. Fine. Now we need to host a railing onto this, and that would be an interesting part. So I'll just go to level 1 and not level 1, we will directly host that particular thing in 3D, HL, and let me see whether it can create the railing. If I'll just go drop this down and railing and just say that sketch path. Okay. And with that, I will just create one line over here, likewise, and just say that fillet. Where is this fillet? 1 to 2. And I will just create this particular line. Fine. And if you think that this is, then just okay. Also this a bit. You can have this entirely as a curve. Wherein I'm just going to say that fillet 1 to 2. Oh yes. Right? Okay. And one more part. So create this to this. Well, one more line from here to here. And fillet that as well. 1 to 2. Something that matches. Okay. And I line and join this to this. And join this to this. Okay, and with that, you can get a rectangular, or let's say that glass panel bottom thing, and just finish. But that would be created on the ground level. With that selected, you see that pick new host and pick this roof. So that will snap to the top of that particular roof. Fine. So that is how we have created this particular interesting form with much less of efforts than this particular matching and fine. So if you think that this particular video would be worth, then kindly enroll for this course and let's learn together and let's grow together. Fine. So have a nice day and watch this interior tutorial. And if you have any doubts or queries, then just type down the route in the comment section and I will just reply to that as soon as possible. Fine. Thank you. Bye and have a nice day.